Hi folks, this is going to be a recipe on how to make Takis, and these are basically a corn snack that have chili powder and other spices. Uh, Kids love these things around here anyway. They go wild for them. It does not taste exactly like the real thing, but it's pretty darn close. Now the first thing you're going to need is this corn flour. This is Masa. You need 1 cup of the Masa, the corn flour, 2/3 of a cup of water, and even though the recipe only calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt, I'm going to put 1 whole teaspoon in there. I've got my ingredients here, the water, the salt, and the flour. You want to mix it up. Clean hands, of course. That's for you kids out there. And mix it up until it all comes together. It doesn't take long, and it's not hard to do. Once you're done, you'll have a thick dough that you can use to make regular tortillas, or you can use to make Takis, which is what we're going to do. Just take a small piece and roll it up into a ball. You don't want a big piece because you want these tortillas to be tiny. They're tiny little tortillas, basically, is what they are. So they would look something like that. They're pretty small. They're bigger than a marble. Not a lot bigger though. You want them fairly small. The next step is to press them. I have a tortilla press that I bought, and you press them between 2 pieces of plastic. This is a plastic bag that I cut up. Then you're going to take each one and carefully roll it up into a little tube. Making these by hand will make you appreciate factories, but on the other hand, if you want to make them, you can. It's just that it'll take a while, but it won't have a lot of the chemicals in it that are in the real stuff. You'll know exactly what's in it because you made it yourself. So this is the last one, and took me, between mixing the flour, rolling those balls, and then making them all into little tubes, it took me about an hour. Now I put this penny in here for scale, so make them about as big as a penny if you want to do it my way. You can make them any size you like, but and the bigger you make them, the fewer you'll have to roll. But in order to copy for real Takis, they should be small. So this is my plate of unfried, unspiced Takis. And I have no idea how many is there, but it's a bunch. So now it's time to talk about the spices. Now I'm using Kool-Ade here. Now it's got some chemicals in it, but they didn't have citric acid at my supermarket, so I decided I'd get this because it's mainly citric acid. Now, I'm using lemonade, Kool-Ade. I guess you could use lemon lime, but I don't like the color, so I didn't use it. But you need a package of this stuff. And we're going to put a package right here in this bowl. And then, this is sea salt. I guess you could use regular salt, but this is a little bit finer, so I'm using it. I'm using 2 teaspoons of this stuff right in the bowl. Then we've got regular, average, everyday chili powder, and I'm going to put a fairly big teaspoon of that in the bowl. And this is habanero chili powder, very hot stuff. And I'm putting a fair amount of that in there, 1 teaspoon, 1 rounded teaspoon. Now, the real hot stuff, if that habanero isn't hot enough for you, this is cayenne pepper. And I'm putting a lot of it, putting 2 rounded teaspoons in there. And that's my basic mix. Now, I should tell you that this is what I figured out to do. If you experiment and come up with something better, and I hope you do, because this is a good substitute for the real Takis, but it doesn't taste exactly like them. Tastes a lot like them. But anyway, this is what it's going to look like once it's all mixed up. Something like this. And the easy way to get it on the Takis once they're fried is to put it in a bag. And then you can shake it. I have a big paper bag here. And I'm just going to pour this all in here. You could use a plastic bag, but if you do, you better make sure that your Takis, your uncoated Takis, are cool before you put them in that plastic bag. Otherwise, you'll melt the bag. So now comes time to fry these up, and you need to heat up your oil. Now this is vegetable oil I've got in here, and I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to heat this up to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's hot. And I'm telling you now, if you're a kid, especially a little kid under the age of 12, I'd say, you better ask your mother or your father to help you do this, because this is no fooling around. This is very, very hot, and this is it's no joke. If you're a kid, you better ask your mother and father. If you don't have experience deep frying stuff, you better ask them for help. Okay, so now this is heated up. It's actually a little hotter than I want it, but you want to start out putting them in here. You don't want to put them all in at once. And as a matter of fact, you probably should only put a few in. You don't want to put the whole batch in at the same time. you want to get maybe 10 or so in there, and when they're golden brown, you'll take them out. That's going to take probably about 3 or 4 minutes per batch. Once they're done, you're going to put them on some paper towels in a bowl and let them cool down a little bit. The best thing to use is something like this. Don't try to use a fork. If you have to, you could use one of these grabbers, these tongs. You could use something like this. But this is the best tool to use for doing this. So you just cook them until they're golden brown. That takes about 3 or 4 minutes per batch. So here you can see that I've got this first batch here, and they're just starting to turn golden brown, and it's time to take them out. I'm just going to put them on my paper towels here that are in a bowl, and let them cool down, and then I'm going to go on to the next batch. This is what they look like once they're all fried up and golden brown, and I'm going to eat one even though they won't taste like a Taki yet, just to tell you so you can know the crunch factor is going on. So the next part, of course, is to put them in with the spice, which is in this bag, and basically you just dump them all in. Shake them up, and they'll get covered with it. Now, you want to do this when these fake Takis are still warm. Don't wait till they're cold. So here, I'm just taking these and I'm going to put them in this colander, and I'm going to knock off some of that excess spice. So this is the final product. It doesn't look exactly like a Taki, but it tastes pretty good. It tastes pretty close to the real thing. Not exactly. This is my counterfeit Taki, and this is one of the real ones. Now, of course, they taste tested theirs probably quite a lot before they did it, and theirs are red. I think they're using red food dye, which I don't want to do, so mine aren't the same color. But they taste pretty darn close, they really do. So they're not that hard to make. Now my recipe needs some refinement, but it's pretty close. Probably the salt should go down, but it's still not too bad. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.